Welcome back to my channel, The Coins World, the channel where history, mystery, and value come together in every coin we discuss. Today we are going to dive deep into the story of one of the most fascinating coins of the 20th century, the 1941 Liberty Wheat Penny. Now, before we get into the details, let me tell you this: if you happen to own this coin, it might just turn the tables for you. Stick around until the very end of the video, because I will share how much this coin can be worth in today's market, and how you can sell it for the best price. And at the end, I'll ask you to comment the word price in the comment section, and I'll personally tell you its real selling value and the exact process of how to sell it safely and profitably. The 1941 Liberty Wheat Penny was minted during a turning point in world history. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but the conflict was already raging across Europe and Asia. The production of this coin took place under those looming circumstances, giving it not just monetary value, but also historical depth. Every penny struck in 1941 carries with it the weight of a nation preparing for one of the greatest struggles in human history, designed by Victor David Brenner. The obverse side of the 1941 Liberty Wheat Penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. This portrait was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and by 1941 it had already become a national symbol of honesty, unity, and strength. The design remained unchanged, giving this coin a sense of continuity and tradition, linking Americans through generations. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays two wheat stalks arching along the edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above sits the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. These wheat stalks symbolize prosperity, labor, and growth, a theme that resonated deeply with Americans who were still recovering from the Great Depression while facing the threat of another global conflict. The 1941 Wheat Penny was struck at 3 different U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint coins bore no mint mark, while the Denver mint coins carried a small D, and the San Francisco coins a small S. Collectors often look for these mint marks, as they can greatly influence the rarity and value of a coin. In terms of production, the numbers were staggering. More than 887 million pennies were minted in 1941, making it one of the most common years for wheat pennies. But here's the twist: while the coin might be common in general, the real treasure lies in its variations, mint marks, and above all, its condition. A 1941 penny found in your pocket change today may not be worth much more than a cent, but in high grades, or with special errors, it can fetch impressive sums. Error coins are particularly fascinating.
1945 Liberty Wheat Penny is one of the final wartime issues in the Lincoln Cent series, minted during the closing chapters of World War II. At this time, the United States was fully committed to the war effort, and every aspect of the economy, including coin production, was influenced by the needs of the military. The wheat penny design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, had already been in circulation for 36 years by 1945. The obverse front of the coin features Lincoln's right-facing bust, a bold yet humble portrayal of the 16th U.S. president whose leadership during the Civil War saved the Union. The inscriptions in God We Trust appear above. Liberty is to the left, and the date 1945 is positioned to the right, depending on the mint location. A mint mark may appear beneath the date. No mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. The reverse back is adorned with 2 curved wheat stalks framing the inscriptions. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion wheat pennies in 1945.1040, 515,000 to be exact, making it one of the most common dates of the series. Denver produced 266,268,000 coins, and San Francisco minted 181,770,000. This abundance means that most circulated 1945 cents are easy to find today, but pristine, uncirculated examples, especially in high mint state red MS road condition, are much scarcer and more valuable for collectors. The 1945 wheat penny offers more than just numismatic value. It as a tangible relic of a turning point in history. When these coins were released, Germany had surrendered in May 1945, ending the war in Europe, and Japan surrendered in August 1945. Following the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, soldiers were returning home. Industry was shifting from war production to consumer goods, and Americans were entering a period of economic optimism. Circulation. These pennies were part of everyday life, used to buy candy, newspapers, and soda. They jingled in the pockets of guests, factory workers, and school children alike. The wheat design itself, introduced in the early 20th century, carried a sense of tradition and stability qualities. The nation greatly valued during and after the war. Collectors especially looked for full red luster, sharp strike details in Lincoln's hair and beard, and clean wheat lines on the reverse. Certain era varieties from 1945 can be valuable, including off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks or Pennies, particularly from the Denver and San Francisco mints. The average circulated 1945 wheat penny is worth only a few cents over face value, but in high mint state grades values can reach $50, $150 or more. Exceptional examples with brilliant color, flawless surfaces, and rare errors can bring several $100s at auction. This coin's enduring appeal lies in its famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it became the first circulating U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual person, breaking away from the long-standing tradition of using allegorical figures like Lady Liberty. The early 20th century, the U.S. Mint sought to modernize its coinage. By 1909, Lincoln's image was chosen for the 1-cent coin, replacing the Indian head cent. The reverse carried two stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and national agricultural heritage, which gave it the name wheat penny or wheat cent. The time the 1930 issue was struck, the United States was in the early years of the Great Depression. Economic hardship affected coin production and circulation patterns, but the cent remained an essential coin for everyday transactions. Features: a right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The word liberty appears to the left, while the date 1930 is to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." Two stylized wheat ears curve along each side, framing the denomination 1 cent and the country name United States of America. The motto "E pluribus unum" appears at the top. The 1930 wheat penny was produced in 3 locations. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, largest mintage. These numbers are high compared to rarer dates. Coins in high mint state grades remain valuable to collectors. This alloy was standard for U.S. cents from 1909 until mid-1942, when steel cents were introduced due to World War II copper shortages. The 1930 wheat penny circulated during a time of economic downturn from the Great Depression, reduced consumer spending but heavy coin circulation. The penny retained strong purchasing power, worth more than 20 times its modern equivalent in buying power. Collectors value the 1930 wheat penny based on condition: circulated versus uncirculated, color designation for uncirculated coins: red road, red brown RBN, brown BN, high grade mint state red, MS65 or higher. Examples, especially from San Francisco, are scarce and command premium prices. High grade MS66 red examples can exceed 200, and rare top pop coins can go higher at auction. 1930 was one of the last years before the U.S. Mint made subtle changes to Lincoln's portrait in 1934. Despite the Great Depression, no major mintage cuts occurred for the 1930 cent, reflecting its necessity in everyday transactions. Some examples have been found with die cracks or double die obverse errors, which significantly increase collector interest and value. The 1930 Liberty Wheat penny stands as a reminder of America's resilience during economic hardship. It's a tangible piece of history from an era when a penny could still buy small goods, and its simple, enduring design continues. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of U.S. coinage since its introduction in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It was created to honor Thomas Jefferson, the 3rd President of the United States, 1801 to 1809, and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The design also featured his iconic home Monticello. On the reverse, the original Jefferson nickel design was created by Felix Zog, a German-born American sculptor. His winning design was selected in a public competition in 1938. Although his initial version featured a more artistic Monticello, the U.S. Mint requested changes to make the building more realistic and legible. By 1978, The Jefferson nickel had been struck for 40 years, with only minor modifications. Its standard composition was 75% copper and 25% nickel, a blend that gives it its characteristic silver-gray appearance. Unlike silver coins, these nickels contain no precious metal, but their durability and resistance to wear made them ideal for circulation. The year 1978 was part of a period of high mintage for the Jefferson nickel. The U.S. economy was experiencing inflation and rising coin demand, so the mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels to meet circulation needs. This was before the 2004-2006 westward journey nickel redesigns, so the original slug design was still in use. The outburst features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His facial features are sharply detailed, with inscriptions. The 1978 test-proof Jefferson nickel was struck with mirrored fields and frosted designs for collectors. These coins were never meant for circulation and are found in U.S. mint-proof sets. Most 1978 nickels in circulated condition are worth face value. This full steps FS designation indicates a strong strike and is rare for 1978 nickels, boosting value significantly. 1978 the U.S. was experiencing stagflation, with inflation rising and the purchasing power of the nickel declining. Yet, it remained a key denomination for vending machines, payphones, and everyday transactions. The 1978 nickel's design remained unchanged until 2004, making it part of the longest-running coin design series in U.S. history. 1938 to 2003, before the redesigns marking the bicentennials of the Lewis and Clark expedition. While not rare in general circulation, high-grade uncirculated 1978 nickels or error coins are sought after by Jefferson nickel specialists. Collectors often include them in full date and mint mark sets spanning the entire series. Some documented varieties and errors include off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, die clashes, ghostly outlines of the opposite side on the coin, double dies, slight doubling of letters or numbers, improperly annealed plankets, coins with unusual coloration. The 1978 Jefferson nickel represents the continuity of U.S. coinage tradition from the mid-20th century through the late 1970s. While it may not be a rare date, it reflects a time when designs were stable and coinage